So now you open your Sublime text. For those of you who are using another text editor like Visual Studio Code, you are welcome. You can use it as well. Okay, the choice is yours. In fact, this is the best on my side, the best text editor I can use for programming, just because of the desktops that you have. Most of you may not have access to Visual Studio Code. That's why I've decided to use Sublime, because most of you, I think, you have Sublime text. But either way, whether you are using Visual Studio Code or Sublime text, it will work. So we need to learn how to save also as well in PHP. So saving, here we create our file. Creating the file, you click File, then New File, click File again, click go to Save As, and then we go to Local Disk C, look for WAMP64, then www. So now we are going to create our website here. Okay, sorry, our file, our folder. So let's give it a name since we want to connect to the database. I know we have, you can see here I have a number of them. Okay, so I'm going to give this another name because I want to avoid having issues with the remaining folders. So now maybe I'll call this folder, I think I should call it Connect. Okay, Connect, because I'm saying this one, I called it Connect to the database, connection. I'll call this one Connect. So let me call it Connect. Press enter, open that, and then I'll give it a name like a file name. Let us call it connect.php. Let me just call it con. Anyway, connect.php. Save. Now when you are done, what we are going to do today, we need to first create a connection with the database. So now what we are going to do, remember with PHP we have our opening syntax and the closing syntax. We need to know how to write it. So we have to say greater than sign PHP, then question mark, the greater than sign. So now what we are going to do today, we are going to connect to the database. Okay, we need to connect first to the database before we add the save button there. Okay, so now we shall first define our what variables. We need to create variables here. Okay, so now remember we said last time variables are containers for storing data, but I want to do it a little bit differently, but everything will work out well. So we shall first define, shall say define, then I'll say something like database server. Now database server that we are using is localhost. It is localhost. Now for localhost, that is the private server we are using, the WAMP server that we are talking about. But where we are going to establish our connection with the database, normally it is the localhost. So we shall say localhost. Normally we find it here. If you look at the screen down here, you can see it is here, localhost, as you can see. So that's what we have. That's our server name. So I'll go ahead and maybe copy this, Control C, Control Enter, and then I'll paste that. So on pasting that, I want to just change this. We need to have the database username, Now for this one, it is root. If you have noticed where I'm getting it from, it is root. I know some may wonder where I'm getting it from. Now root, how I've noticed that it is the one. I think I have something open here. Yes, you can see. Sorry, you can see the username is root. Then we have to include the password. So we need to have the database password as well. Now for the password, it is nothing. Okay, if you switch back to our area here where there's phpMyAdmin, you can see there is nothing filled in here. Okay, whereby if you just click go, you can see it is opening. So that means the password is nothing. Now for the DB, you need to have the database name, the name of the database. Remember last time in the last video we talked about how we can create a database. So for the database name, we can come up with a unique name for the database. Now for example, let me give it a name that is not here. I think let me call it something like tutor. Okay, let me bring it back again. Tutor. Tutor. Okay. So now we need to attempt a connection with the database. Let me write this simple comment here. Attempting to connect. So we are going to declare a variable. Okay, you can come up with your own variable name. Mine, I'll call it link. $sign link equals MySQL connect. Press tab. And then we need to get whatever we have declared here. We insert it within this bracket here. Okay, so I'll say DB server. I think I'm going to just copy and paste time. Copy and paste. Control C. And then Control V. Put a comma. Then Control C again. Then we have this as well. Control C, and then we have this as well here. Then a comma. So I think I'll just type it in. Database name. Alright, so now sorry, we need to terminate that. Now this variable, as you can see, it has we are using it to store information, to represent whatever is here. This variable that we have called link, it is going to represent whatever we have displayed here, the localhost, the role, the password, tutor, such that it forms that connection. Now for us to confirm whether it has formed that connection successfully, we need to have what we call an if statement. If we don't have it, we can't tell where the problem is. Okay, we can't tell what the problem is, and even at times, even if it connects successfully, sometimes some people may not know whether it has actually connected. So we need to send a notification message to the person who is trying to connect to the database that database has what connected successfully, such that he or she is able to identify and know that actually it has what successfully connected, or there is an error, it can't connect. So my main intention as to why I'm using the if statement is simply because I want us to know how to solve some errors. Okay, because as I speak we are going to encounter something along the way. Okay, checking for connection, we need to first check. Now to check for connection, I've said we are going to use an if statement. So we say checking for connection, and by the way, it's not a must to put these comments, just I'm doing this because we need to understand what we are doing. So I'll say if, open brackets, then we carry our variable that we have declared here, then copy that, paste it here, Then you put triple equal signs, put them there, and then you click false, you type false, open brackets, then you say die, error, could not connect. Could not connect. Then a dot, and we shall say MySQL press tab. We need to connect error. Then we terminate that, and then we say else echo connection successful. Now if you look at our if statement here, we are saying if you declare if whatever information we have placed here is false, if whatever we have placed here is false, then display error could not connect. Okay, that means we have something going on around here that is false. Otherwise, if everything is okay as we have declared here in this variable name called link, then echo connection successful. Now when we go to localhost, we open that, we need to look for that folder called connect. Here it is, connect. You open that folder. When you click it, it is telling us we have an error, unknown database tutor. Okay, error could not connect. You can see our if statement is running successfully, but we have a problem here. It is telling us unknown database tutor. Remember previously in the last video we created a database called tutor, but then we dropped it, we deleted it out of the database. That means for us to successfully connect to the database, we need to have the actual database name, and then it will successfully connect. That means we are going to go to phpMyAdmin, and then we create our database. From here we shall set tutor. Here it is, our previous database, and then click collation. Now for database, what I need to tell you is that you can come up with any name, and then you connect it to what phpMyAdmin. Okay, for it to work, you need to have a database name that you have labeled here within your line of code. Okay, so now I'll click create. Now it is here, it is back. So when I head back to this area and I refresh, let's refresh that. After refreshing, you open, it is saying connection successful. Okay, that means we have managed to successfully connect to our database. Okay, so in the next video we are going to now learn how to create the save button such that we can insert information within our database. Okay, whereby we are going to insert everything from here, and then we put it within, we fix it within the database.